Do you deserve to earn more? Simple question, and most people say, yeah, of course I do. But actually, what we said in there is deserve to earn more. Because there's a lot of people that we work with, they know they are not getting paid what they should. But why? Well, often it's fear of asking for that amount. And sometimes it's self-doubt about their value. So they don't ask for what they're worth because they don't quite believe in it. So they're the two biggest reasons that we tend to find. So do you deserve more? But why are you not getting it? So there's a quick check for you. This is the purpose of the video, just to go through some very, very quick mental checks, just to think, am I stopping myself from earning more? But I know I deserve it because I have great skills and great knowledge. So we've worked with people, and this is the interesting thing. We've worked with people as salespeople and marketeers, people whose job in business is to go out and get money, to make the money flow in. But we've worked with people like that who have great skills, salespeople who know how to sell, know how to bring money into a company, but they won't negotiate for their own value. They're great for a product or service. They're great to do it for the company they work for, but they have a real hard time doing it for themselves. So even these people suffer from this problem. So this leads to really talented people not getting paid what they are worth. So they know that they have this, it's like a battle inside your head. I know I deserve more, but I won't let myself do something. And this is what we need to go and look at to help you focus on what is it you need to do to change it. But as I said, it's self-doubt, which means you undervalue yourselves. And then possibly it's things like fear of rejection. And this could be a fear of rejection of not allowing myself to, I could lose the contract or I could not get the job because I asked for too much. That's the one we first of all think of. But it's also, how would I feel if they say no? So even if you are in a role and you could be being paid more, you should be being paid more, but the fear of being told no, you're wrong, rejection, which often goes back to when we were kids, being told off or being criticised for asking for something. I've worked with people who won't ask for their full amount because they're worried about coming over as looking greedy or being money hungry. So there's lots of things that go on inside people's heads that stop them being paid for their worth. So it makes them underprice themselves. And whether it's their salary or the services they charge, it means they don't get the money to, have the lifestyle, look after their families, do that and be paid for all their hard work and brilliant skills. So the first one, as I just said, is actually asking for the right fee. So this is underpricing yourself, the willingness to aim for the right price. But the other thing that stops people from getting paid what they're worth is they under promote themselves. And again, this happens in business when you are, this is your own business and you are willing to promote yourself and talk about how good you are with confidence, because people don't want to be called arrogant. People don't want to be thought of as big-headed. This is such a huge problem, which has nothing to do with your value, but when you bring it in, it damages your value. And I worked with someone recently, back at the end of last year, who had this as a massive problem. And guess what? They then got a huge pay rise because we dealt with the fact that they didn't sell themselves in interviews. They didn't talk about themselves confidently because they were worried about being called arrogant. So they were underpricing themselves and under promoting themselves. So that got fixed and they got a massive pay rise. So are you prepared to promote yourself? And I promise you, I had this one. This was my big one back in my 30s. When I first had to learn this marketing thing, I hated it. I wanted to shy away from it because I wanted to be really good at what I did. I wanted to get well paid for it. But then I didn't tell anybody because it felt so awkward about actually doing the marketing thing. So I under-promoted myself massively. It cost me a lot when it didn't need to. And the next one is under-niching. So we've got undervaluing, that's the problem, or being scared of of saying how good you are. So the catalyst in the battle is you can't do that, which leads to underpricing, under promoting, and then not being at the level of job or working with the level of client that you should be working with. And this is what I call under niching, which I think I made that word up, but you are working below your capable level. You're in a role which pays this amount when really you should be in a role at this level, but you won't go for that role. You won't push yourself. And so many times I work with people who are really frustrated with themselves because they know they should be working at a higher level, but for some reason they don't let themselves go for that. And we always find out within the first week why, when we're working with somebody in the first week, exactly why that is. Usually in the first session, the first 2 hours, we find out why they won't let themselves do that. But they often held themselves back for many, many years. So it's not going for the right level of work. But the other thing is, if you're running your own business, the flip side of that is you don't go for the level of clients you should go for. Well, I can't work with them because they're too big, or they won't pay attention to me because I'm too small, or And this is often what happens: is you don't work for the level of client that you could because you've got something going on in your head that just says I can't do that. And it's really interesting when I'm working with people, who are having to sell into companies. They will possibly talk to somebody one level within a company, and they'll try and pitch to that level. But as soon as they have to then pitch to a higher level person, they get nervous. They don't feel that they can do it. They lose their confidence, and they won't do it. And it's so many times that I've seen this. And I actually worked with a client. This was many years ago. It just popped into my head. That they bought the company from the old company owner, but they didn't feel like a business person. They felt like a worker. They weren't at this level of thinking. So therefore they were having a real hard time talking to other business people. So even though they owned the business, they bought it out. They saw there's a disparity between who they were and this person in a suit, this powerful person who won't speak to me. I see it so many times, and even at senior director level, even at C-suite level, where this fear of what people will think of them because they're above me, the authoritarian thing. And this often goes back to, again, school or home, when it's almost like they behave like children. And it's not meant to be disparaging or critical, but it's almost like a childlike fear of authority comes out. And we deal with this all of the time, but these are the big taboos that nobody talks about in business, and it costs money. So, I hate doing these number things, but it's necessary. This is true, because I've had numerous clients who've put in 25% to 100% increases in salary in a very short period of time. And sometimes it's literally weeks, because they, in their own business, they put their prices up and their clients went, okay, I know you're worth it. And we've had people who've literally bounced. I think one client, they got promoted 3 times in 4 years. Boom, 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 boom. And obviously the salary went up with them because, and this is the really important thing, it wasn't because they massively improved their skill sets. That's another thing you can do. But they should already have been earning this income. As one client just said, thank you for taking the stopper out of his head. I think that's like the expression he said. It's like, boom, got himself out of his own way, and then boom, off he went. So this is not about having to massively increase your skill set, even though that is another way of doing this. That's for another video. It's just getting out your own way, because you already should be working at this level. And if this is making sense and you think, oh, I'm frustrated with myself, and you've got a bit of a battle between what you want to do and what you won't let yourself do, get in touch, because it's solvable in a very short period of time, I promise you. So thanks for watching, and it is worth you diving in to fix this, because if you just think about this, what does this cost you over how many years, and what will it cost you if you don't fix it? And when you think about those numbers and what's the impact on your lifestyle and your family, then it's probably a good idea to do something about it. Get in touch, click on the buttons, certainchange.co.uk. Just get in touch and we can fix this really quick. Anyway, Thanks for your time, and hope it's been useful, and I will speak to you soon.